Hello and welcome to the show. So we've had a few issues with the Forza stuff and there's been a last minute change. So instead we have some rigs and rods for you again because this game is utterly fantastic. Now, as you can see here, we have a collection of off-road vehicles. We have monster trucks, Dakar trucks, there's a trophy truck, a Truggy, and some crawlers and general more normal off-road vehicles in there. And there's even a sort of rally car. Now what we are going to do is we're going to try and find the fastest off-road vehicle. I've got a little course laid out on one of the levels. I'm going to see which one of these goes fastest down the route. Now there is a Baja buggy that comes with the game, however I can't seem to use that because every time I try to use it, it crashes the whole game. Which is a bit of a shame because that would stand a pretty good chance in this challenge, I guess. But yeah, we're going to have a go, drive all of these and see which one comes out on top. Now, up first we have got the trophy truck. I love these vehicles. They are basically ridiculous things. They're incredibly fun to watch racing. If you see it on TV, I suggest you go and watch them because they are utterly nuts. Now, this one in particular, this is a mod that I downloaded for Rigs and Rods. I can't remember where I got it from. It was on the internet. You can find it relatively easy. And then we're going to go and start off and have a look down this course. Now, things were going pretty well for the trophy truck, actually. It done the first part relatively well. Then things kind of went downhill when I fell off the edge of the track. And once I got down here, I was in a little bit of trouble. I was trying to climb it back over, and then we roll again. And then we've got to get it turned again. We're going to get it turned in time. No, there's a fence there. You can't go through fences, apparently. So we're going to have to back it up. And then we're going to get it turned some more. And then we're going to... No, we're not going to go up the hill. Okay, we're going to do another roll. Still on our wheels, amazingly. And there we go. We're up. Are we going to... No, don't roll over. Yes, saved. Okay. Now we carry on with the course. So the course kind of winds around this little bit of mountain. It goes uphill. It's very, very bumpy. It's also quite steep in places. Up here is particularly nasty. The trophy truck is doing really quite well. Then it sort of falls through this little, I don't know, gully way. It's quite a nasty... It's very narrow. It's quite bumpy in places. And as we can see there, it kind of does a bit of a nosedive into the ground. And then we finish up with this very narrow sort of trench to the end. That is particularly nasty and bumpy, and there we go, it has finished. Now I'm timing all of these on my phone stopwatch, so I can't tell you it's exactly accurate. But anyway, up next we have a Dakar truck. This is the DAF, whatever you call it. It's a Dakar truck. Not the most suitable for this sort of event. It is quite twisty and windy, and this is a very big truck. And it eventually came to a rather sticky end over a not even a particularly big bump, and it's stuck on its side. Now, to make things fair, we were going to have no resets, so if the car rolls, if it gets stuck, that's it, it's done. And the Dakar truck is completely stuck. There is nothing we can do about that one. It's not going anywhere fast. So, up next is a monster truck that the game decided it was going to spawn on its nose, which is really clever of you, game. Well done. I applaud you for that. But I'm not sure why, but luckily, because it's a monster truck, it's easy to sort of deal with. Now, the monster truck, you would think here, has a bit of an advantage. It is very, very, very fast. However, it is a little bit difficult to control. It's kind of got four-wheel steering, which makes it a weird thing to drive. And it is also very big. And while, yes, it is incredibly fast and very good off-road because it's a monster truck, it is a little bit wide for this route. As you can see here, we're struggling. We get to the top of the hill, and it doesn't actually turn in time, and then it turns too much, and then it gets sort of stuck on the hill. I should also point out I am using the keyboard, because I still can't figure out how to get a gamepad to work, so it's not the most accurate of steerings. As we see here, the monster truck doesn't really fit through here. It's on two wheels. Game's telling, or my computer is telling me what the date is. Truck's now going backwards down the hill. It's still on its wheels though, which is good. So we can carry on. It's going to let it roll and try and get it turned. Come on, truck, you can turn. There we go. And maybe, come on, get turned. There we go. We're back facing the right way. And there we go. The monster truck finished as well. So far, 2 out of 3 have finished, which is not a bad finish. Now, this is probably the biggest of all the trucks that we have here. It's a Tatra, I think is how it's pronounced. Oh, it's probably wrong. No, my pronunciation is terrible and someone will tell me how it's pronounced. Now this has 8 wheels, 4 wheels steering. The front 4 wheels do the steering, which make this a ridiculous truck. I think this is either a truck trial truck or it could be a Dakar truck. I'm not really sure. Now this is it's by far the biggest vehicle we have here. It's also not the fastest, which is a little bit of a problem. Because, yeah, it struggles. It kind of doesn't do this hill at all. it's just not going to go. I am literally flat out here, and we cannot get over the second hill, which is very, very bad. And much later, I'm still here trying to get up this hill. Just nothing's going. It will not go up the hill. I think the Tatra is a complete failure. Yeah, that's useless. I've just noticed though that it's apparently on one of the dials it's done 8,000 miles, which is pretty good. I'm not sure if that's relevant, but yeah, there we go. Now up next is a Truggy. Now I didn't actually know that there were real versions. I don't even know if this is real, to be honest. I know these in remote control cars. I didn't know of these in sort of real vehicles. A Truggy is a cross between a truck and a buggy, so you have the advantage of a truck and the sort of advantages of a buggy as well. It has very, very good suspension, it's very good off-road, and it's supposedly quite powerful, as we see here. Suspension is working very well. It's nice and controlled through this section, unlike some of the cars that we will see. However, there is a slight downside to this car, and it does not like the hill. It is not particularly happy with going up this hill. It is now stuck against the wall, so we're going to give it a bit of a reverse. We're going to try again and go a bit more forward, and it's going slowly. It might eventually, no, we're not going to, are we? Come on. No, it's going to go sideways and fall down the hill again. It is a shame. This is actually a really good off-road car. The problem is it is not particularly good at going up steep hills, as we are now going to get stuck again. Get it into reverse. By now the time's gone, even if I can get it up the hill. It's not going to have a particularly quick time. However, it would be nice to finish. It has got over this bit of the hill, but it's bouncing around. We're going to get up this bit here. This bit here doesn't actually look as steep as the earlier bit, but for some reason the cars seem to struggle more up here, and that is as high as it is going to go. It's now going to roll down the hill, and we're not going to be able to get it in a straight line, are we? Are we going to go again? I don't think we're going to. Nope, we're going to hit that cliff, and then we are gone down the hill, and the Truggy never managed to make it any higher. Now, the next up we have a old Toyota pickup truck, which had the issue of a terrible, terrible turning circle. I was trying to get it lined up, and was driving in much a similar way to all the other vehicles, and it just didn't turn. So we're going to have to do a bit of a reverse, and then a forwards. Now there is also another problem with this, and that is that the brakes are terrible. I'm on the brakes there when I went forward. I just wanted to shut it forward a little bit. So I pressed forward on the button and then tried to go on the brakes, and it just didn't stop. Which was, yeah, it proved a little bit tricky. I had to, in the end, I had to hold it on the handbrake and put it in neutral, because otherwise it just keeps sort of wandering off. Now this car was not very fast, and the steering made it a little bit tricky. I did get a bad bounce through there, and now I'm off the track and on the side. Which is the end of the Toyota, or is it? I'm trying to kind of flick it back over, you know, like spin it around on the wheels and hope that it catches on something and bounces it over. Unfortunately it doesn't, it just spins around on the floor for a little bit and then gets stuck. So yeah, the Toyota is a failure as well. However, it did get further than the Tatra, so not a complete fail. The rally car decided that it was going to make my CPU usage go very high, which was a little bit annoying. But yeah, this is the closest that I think that I could find to a rally car on the game. It was going quite well until I managed to fall off the road at the same point again. I'm not quite sure why some of the cars are struggling here. There's a little bit of the cliff that sticks out, but I think if you catch it a bit wrong, you kind of just sort of fall off the road. Now we're trying to get this car back onto the road. It's a little bit tricky. It's a quite powerful car, I think, which means it just sort of sits there and wheel spins. That sounded like a nasty crash, but it does manage to keep going. Now we're going down the sort of hill, and it's going to roll, and it may have lost some body panels. No, it's all good. This is the first car I think that we have down here that actually has proper damage. However, it's all good. It lost a front bumper, but that's not that important. All the wheels are still pointing the right way, which kind of surprises me. But there we go. The rally car managed to finish. It finished with style. It did a barrel roll to celebrate and then landed on its roof. Now, up next, we have a Chevy S10, I believe. This is an off-road version. This is the best sort of damaged model of any of the cars we drive. It has a very similar one to the Honda Accord. It's very realistic, it's very good. As we can hear, it's already crashing and banging through here. But it is actually looking pretty good. It's dealing with the bumps very well, much better than some of the proper off-road cars, which really surprised me. It sounds terrible, but not much is actually getting damaged at all, I don't think. We come down here, camera gets a little bit lost behind the mountain, but we're going to straighten it up, and it's bouncing about. That sounded quite nasty, and the front wheel looks a little bit bent, but it's still drivable, so we're going to carry on, and we're going through the final little bit of a trench. It's quite bumpy, this car struggles through there. It's not got the greatest ground clearance, but it finishes. It ends on its roof, but it got to the finish line, so that's 4 cars, I think, that's finished now. So, up next, it is the Mitsubishi Dakar truck L200 or 2000, I can't remember. I should have done my research before starting talking. But yeah, this is like a Dakar truck. It's not one of the trucks, I can't think. But anyway, we're going down the hill and everything goes wrong. it was doing quite well up till this point, and now it's stuck on its roof. I'm not quite sure what I clipped to cause it to roll there, but yeah, the Mitsubishi is on its roof, and it is, well, it's not going anywhere. Which is a shame, because that was actually going for a relatively good time. Now, up next is the Suzuki. This, I'm not sure if this is a sort of a crawler or a rally vehicle, but it is very, very cool. I love this for off-roading. And yeah, it's not the fastest, I will be honest, but as we can see here, it's really good at dealing with the bumps, and it has actually enough torque and power and whatever it is to get up the hill. So we're coming up to the top of the mountain. We're going down here now. Suspension is working very, very hard. We'll get the camera a little bit lost, and then it all goes horribly wrong right about here. I'm not sure, but the front wheel comes off. I'm not sure what I hit. I'm not quite sure what caused it to do that. As you can see, the steering's all gone to kaput completely. I must have just landed on the front wheel and it broke it, snapped it off, and that is the end of the Suzuki, which is a real shame, because that car was doing really, really well up until that point, and there we go. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. It's completely and utterly stuck on its side, and well, it's broken. Now here, the very, very noisy crawler is this one. This is a rock crawler that's now stalled and falling off the road. These things are designed for going over like ridiculous terrain. For those of you who know what rock crawlers are, they are just insane vehicles. The suspension does all sorts of weird and wonderful angles. It's designed for going over like the most ridiculous terrain. However, this one is having some issues. We're stuck trying to get back on the road here. This is where quite a lot of cars actually fell off, because it's quite narrow and very, very bumpy. I was expecting the crawler to actually be a bit better. It's stalled again. But eventually we did manage to get it onto the road. We carried on a little bit more. But the crawler seems to struggle quite a lot with these hills. It is kind of climbing up this one here. But it's really struggling with the steep hills, which surprised me, because the crawlers should be good at this sort of thing. Or I would have thought they would be. I don't really know a huge amount about them. But yeah, we're trying to get around this corner, this top corner. It's proven very, very difficult for all of the cars. And it's not going to go. It's going to roll back down the hill. And that is the end of the crawler. It will not climb any further than that. It gradually falls down the hill. Now, our final vehicle we have is a Land Rover. This is another crawler, I believe, but it looks more like a sort of a rally truck to me. It wouldn't get over the second hill, which is much similar to the Tatra. However, I did back it up and give it a bit more of a run up so that it would go over, and we got further around, and it's still struggling with the hills. It's not going anywhere. It's now got itself stuck in the wall. And that is about as far as the Land Rover is going to get. It's now stalled just for good measure. So there we have it. That is all of our off-road cars driven up the hill. And of course, now it is time for the all-important results. And I can't believe I'm going to say this, but in first place is the Chevrolet S10 Off-Road with a 1:02, which that really surprised me. I never expected it to be the fastest through there. Monster Truck put in a respectable time, despite it getting stuck. The Trophy Truck and the Rally Car, they both finished, although they had their own issues. The Suzuki Crawler was on for the fastest time until the wheel broke. It's a bit of a shame that, because I really like that car. The Mitsubishi L200 was also on for a very good time until that had its own crash. The Truggys and the Crawlers all got stuck on the hill, and there's nothing that they're never going to go any further. The DAF Dakar truck, I reckon, would have been on for a good time as well. That had a good first section until that one there kind of got stuck and rolled. The Toyota pickup was useless. If it had carried on, I don't really know. It wouldn't have had a good time. And the Tatra is rubbish. And, well, that's it. I can't really believe that I'm going to say that the best off-road racing car on here is the Chevrolet pickup truck. It can't go in a straight line. We're going to take a jump. But yeah, that is some rigs of rods. We're going to take the jump sideways. We're going to land. And of course, it wouldn't be rigs of rods without some crashing. We're going to do some rolls. And we're going to be in pieces. Okay, so the Chevrolet is best unless you're going to take some big jumps, because then it's useless. It's still working. We're still going to do some donuts to celebrate. But yeah, here we go. That is it. It's a little bit of a, I wouldn't say last minute, well, it is a last minute episode, this one. It wasn't really planned for today. Things have gone wrong. Internets are broken. Not mine, for once. Daniel's internet's just died. So recording has all gone wrong. But never mind. Normal service will resume tomorrow. And normal videos. Tuner Tuesday will be out tomorrow as normal. And Wednesday everything will carry on as planned, hopefully. Hopefully his internet will work. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. So thank you very much for watching. And until next time, goodbye.